Hey, imagine this. Me and my dad, racing bikes on a sunny coast, laughing like kids, until I crash and his worried eyes lock on mine. Then, a stormy night traps us in a cabin, and I find a note he never meant me to see. But wait, our last day ends with a bracelet, a secret gift, and a stranger walking in with a letter that could change everything. What's it say? Stick around. You won't believe where this ride takes us. Hey, before we jump into this tale, drop a comment with where you're tuning in from and hit that subscribe button. Ready? Let's roll. I'm Emily, 23 years old, and I'll never forget the week I convinced my dad, Jack, to ditch everything and head to the California coast. Picture this. It's a sunny afternoon, the kind where the sky's so blue it almost hurts to look at it. I tossed my duffel bag into the back of his beat-up pickup truck, the one he's had since I was a kid, and cranked up the radio. Some old rock tune, think Springsteen, blasted through the speakers as we peeled out of our driveway. Dad's 48 now, and after everything we'd been through, especially losing Mom to that long, draining illness, we were both running on empty. The air between us had been heavy for months, like we'd forgotten how to talk without tiptoeing around the silence. So when I pitched this trip, I wasn't sure he'd bite. But there he was, gripping the wheel, a half smile tugging at his lips like he was remembering what it felt like to have fun. We didn't stop until we hit this little motel called Sunny Shore, just off Highway 1. It wasn't fancy. Think peeling paint and a neon sign that flickered like it was on its last legs. But the view? Oh man, it was unreal. The ocean stretched out forever, waves crashing like they were putting on a show just for us. I couldn't wait. The second we parked, I kicked off my sneakers, letting them flop onto the gravel and bolted for the water. The sand was warm under my feet, soft like a blanket, and I could feel the salt in the air sticking to my skin. Come on, old man, show me you've still got it, I yelled over my shoulder, laughing as I splashed into the shallows. The water was cold, shocking my system in the best way, and I spun around to see Dad jogging after me. He was grinning, actually grinning, and for a second I saw the guy he used to be, the one who'd chased me around the backyard when I was little. We messed around in the waves for a while, splashing each other like a couple of goofballs. I ducked under a breaker, popping up with wet hair plastered to my face, and he lobbed a handful of water right at me. "You're gonna pay for that!" I shouted, lunging at him. He dodged, laughing so hard I thought he might keel over. It hit me then, how long it had been since I'd heard that sound. Months? Maybe a year? Losing Mom had sucked the life out of us both. And this? This felt like CPR for our souls. I waded out a little deeper, letting the current tug at my legs, and glanced back at him. The sun was dipping low, painting everything gold, and he looked good. Not just happy, but strong, alive. I shook my head quick. Why was I even noticing that? He's my dad, for crying out loud. Anyway, we finally dragged ourselves back to the motel, dripping and sandy, and crashed on the porch with a couple of sodas from the vending machine. The air was warm, the kind of warm that wraps around you like a hug, and I could hear seagulls squawking in the distance. "This was a solid idea, Em," Dad said, popping the tab on his can. His voice was low, easy, like he meant it. "Yeah, well, I'm full of 'em," I shot back, smirking. He chuckled, and we just sat there, watching the waves roll in. It was simple, but it felt huge, like we were finally breathing again. Here's the thing. This trip wasn't just about kicking back. I wanted us to reconnect, sure, but I didn't expect it to hit me so fast. Growing up, Dad and I were tight. Movie nights, camping trips, all that stuff. But after Mom got sick, we drifted. I'd catch myself wondering if we'd ever get that back, or if grief had just built this wall we couldn't climb. That first day on the beach, though, it was like someone handed me a sledgehammer. I started thinking about how much I'd missed him. Not just the fun, but him. The way he'd always known how to pull me out of a funk. Was it weird to feel that rush of relief so soon? Maybe. But I wasn't about to question it. We ended up grabbing fish tacos from this little stand nearby. Greasy, delicious, wrapped in foil. I took a bite, sauce dripping down my chin, and Dad laughed. "You're a mess, kid." Takes one to know one, I fired back, tossing a napkin at him. He caught it midair, still grinning. It was so normal, so us. And yet there was this undercurrent I couldn't pin down. Like we were rediscovering each other, but also meeting for the first time. I brushed it off, figuring it was just the high of being somewhere new. Still, as we walked back to the motel, the sunset turning the sky into a freaking postcard, I couldn't shake this thought. What if this week changed everything? Okay, let's get real for a sec. This isn't just some feel-good vacation story. I mean, it is, but it's also about figuring out who we are now, you know? Dad and I had been stuck in this rut, and I think we both wondered if we'd ever climb out. Some folks might say a trip like this is just a band-aid, that you can't fix deep stuff with a week by the ocean. Fair point. But I'd argue it's a start, a chance to hit reset. That first day taught me something. Sometimes you don't need big answers, just a little momentum. And trust me, we were rolling. By the time we crashed that night, I was wiped. The bed was lumpy, the AC rattled like it was about to die, but I didn't care. I could hear Dad snoring through the thin wall, and it made me smile. We'd survived day one, and it felt like a win. Lying there, listening to the waves, I started wondering what the rest of the week would bring. Would we keep this vibe going? Or was this just a fluke? I didn't have a clue, but I was pumped to find out. One thing I knew for sure, I wasn't letting this slip away. Not again. So, yeah, that's how it kicked off. Me and Dad, a truck, and a stretch of coastline that felt like it was daring us to live a little. Stick around, because this story's got more twists than a boardwalk roller coaster. What do you think? Ever had a trip that flipped the script on you? Let me know down below. So, it's our second night at the Sunny Shore Motel, and I'm still buzzing from that wild first day with Dad. The motel folks decided to throw a beach bonfire for everyone staying there. And let me tell you, it was the perfect vibe. I grabbed a stick, skewered a marshmallow, and plopped down on the sand next to Dad. The fire was crackling, spitting little sparks into the night sky, and the air smelled like salt and smoke. People were chatting, laughing. Some guy was strumming a guitar. Total chill scene. Dad, Jack, was in his element, leaning back with a soda in hand, telling this hilarious story about how he got stuck on a dorm roof back in college after a party went sideways. And there I was, yelling for help, while my buddy just waved from below like a jerk, he said, grinning. Everyone cracked up, me included, and for a minute it felt like we were part of this big, happy crew. I'm roasting my marshmallow, trying not to burn it to a crisp, when I catch these two guys from the next group over, sneaking looks our way. One's got a baseball cap pulled low, the other's rocking a loud Hawaiian shirt. Total beach bros. At first, I figure they're just people watching, but then Hawaiian shirt guy winks at me. My stomach does a little flip, half flattered, half weirded out. I lean over to Dad and whisper, "Hey, don't make me look lame in front of these guys, okay?" He chuckles, slings an arm around my shoulders, and pulls me in close. "What, me? I'm just proud to be here with you, Em," he says, his voice all warm and steady. The firelight's dancing on his face, and I can't help but notice how good he looks. Relaxed, alive, like the Dad I remember from way back. My heart does this funny skip, and I think, whoa, he's kinda cool, huh? But then I snap out of it. Hello, he's my dad. What's with me tonight? The fire's popping, and I'm trying to shake off that weird moment, focusing on the gooey marshmallow I finally nailed. Someone passes around a bag of graham crackers, and I slap together a quick s'more, handing half to Dad. "You're welcome," I say, smirking as he takes a bite and gets chocolate all over his chin. "Classy," he shoots back, wiping it off with his sleeve. We're laughing, and it's easy, like we're picking up where we left off years ago. But those guys keep glancing over, and now I'm wondering if they think we're a couple or something. It's dumb, I know, but it makes my cheeks burn. I nudge Dad again. "Seriously, you're killing my vibe here." He just squeezes my shoulder tighter. "Relax, kid. They're probably jealous I've got the best company," he says, and his grin's so genuine I can't help but smile back. Still, there's this spark in me, part pride, part something I can't name, that's throwing me off. Here's where it gets real for a second. Sitting there, surrounded by strangers, I start thinking about why this trip matters. After Mom passed, Dad and I got stuck in this quiet, heavy place. We'd talk, sure, but it was surface stuff. Bills, work, what's for dinner. This bonfire, though? It's like a window cracking open. I'm seeing him again. Not just as my dad, but as this guy who's funny, who's got stories, who's still kicking after everything. Is it weird to feel this close so fast? Maybe some would say we're just riding a high, that real healing takes longer. But I'd argue it's about moments like this, little sparks that remind you what's worth holding on to. The night rolls on, and the crowd thins out. I'm leaning back, digging my toes into the cool sand, when Dad says, "You having fun, Em?" His voice is softer now, like he's checking in. "Yeah," I say, looking at him. "You?" He nods, staring into the fire. "More than I thought I would." There's weight in his words, and it hits me. We're both surprised by how much we needed this. I catch myself staring at him again, the way the flames light up his eyes, and that odd feeling creeps back. He's my dad, I tell myself, shaking it off. It's just the fire messing with my head. But as we sit there, shoulder to shoulder, I can't deny it. Something's shifting. Not in a creepy way, just deeper. Like we're more than we used to be. We finally head back to the motel, sand stuck to our legs, the sound of waves fading behind us. I'm buzzing, replaying the night in my head. "You think those guys were checking me out?" I ask, half joking as we climb the porch steps. Dad laughs, unlocking the door. "Nah, they were probably wondering how I scored a VIP seat next to you." I roll my eyes, but I'm grinning. Inside, I flop onto my bed, still smelling the smoke on my hoodie. Dad's in the next room, and I hear him humming that guitar tune from earlier. It's small, but it sticks with me. This lightness we're finding. So yeah, that night wasn't just about s'mores and stories. It was us figuring out how to be us again, maybe even better than before. I'm lying there thinking, what's next? Because if day two's this good, I'm hooked. Ever had a moment where you realize someone's more than you thought? That's where I'm at. Stick with me. This ride's just getting started. All right, so it's day 3 at the sunny shore, and I wake up to the sun blasting through the curtains like it's on a mission. After that bonfire last night, I'm still riding this high. Me and Dad are clicking in a way I didn't see coming. We decide to rent some bikes and cruise along the coast. I hop on this clunky blue one with a wobbly basket, and Dad grabs a black one that looks like it's seen better days. "Ready to eat my dust?" I tease, pedaling off before he can answer. The wind's whipping through my hair, the ocean's roaring on my left, and I feel like I could ride forever. Dad catches up quick, laughing. "You wish, Em!" he yells, and we're off, racing side by side down the path. The sun's beating down, warming my skin, and the salty breeze keeps me cool. It's one of those perfect California mornings. Blue sky, waves crashing, the whole deal. I'm loving this, just being out here with him. Growing up, we'd do stuff like this all the time. Bike rides, hikes, you name it. But after Mom, that stopped. Now, it's like we're digging up that old groove and it feels so right. I glance over at him, and he's grinning, sunglasses sliding down his nose. Then I catch it. His eyes linger on me a little too long. Not creepy, just different. Like he's seeing me in a new light. I brush it off, figuring it's just him being proud or something. "Keep up, old man!" I shout, pushing harder. We're flying along, dodging a few joggers when I hit a sandy patch. My tire skids, and bam, I'm off the bike, tumbling onto the ground. It's not a big deal, just a scraped knee and a bruised ego. I'm laughing, brushing sand off my hands, when Dad screeches to a stop and jumps off his bike. "Em, you okay?" he calls, rushing over. His face is all worry, eyes wide, voice tight. "Yeah, I'm fine," I say, still chuckling. He grabs my arm to help me up, and his hand stays there, steady and warm. Our eyes lock for a second, and whoa, there's this jolt, like static electricity zapping through me. My laugh fades, and I'm just staring at him, confused. "You sure?" he asks. softer now. Totally, I nod, pulling away quick. What was that? We get back on the bikes, but my head's spinning. Was that just me being clumsy, or did something shift right there? I try to focus on the ride, the rhythm of the pedals, but I keep replaying it. His hand, that look. It's not weird exactly, just intense. Like we're more connected than I realized. I shake it off, chalking it up to the adrenaline. We stop for water at a little bench, and he's back to joking. Gotta work on your balance, kid, he says, tossing me a bottle. Says the guy who almost crashed into a seagull. I fire back. He laughs, and we're good again. Still, that moment's stuck in my brain. Fast forward to night. We're back at the motel, and out of nowhere, a storm rolls in. The wind's howling, rain's pounding the windows like it's mad at us. We're inside our little cabin, wrapped in towels from the beach, sipping tea from these chipped mugs we found in the kitchenette. The power flickers, but we've got a lantern going, casting this cozy glow. This is nuts, I say, peering out at the chaos. Dad nods, stirring his tea. Reminds me of that camping trip when you were 10. Tent almost blew away. I laugh. Yeah, and you said we'd be fine. We're cracking up, swapping stories, and it's the most relaxed I've felt in forever. But as we talk, that vibe from earlier creeps back. I'm curled up on the couch, he's in the armchair, and the storm's making everything feel close, personal. I catch myself watching him, how he leans forward when he talks, how his hands wrap around the mug. You ever think we'd get this back? I ask, not even sure what I mean. He looks at me, surprised. What, this? Us hanging out? Yeah, I say. After everything. His face softens. I hoped we would, Em. His voice has this weight, and my chest tightens. Why does it feel bigger than just catching up? I sip my tea, trying to figure it out. Is it the storm, the trip, or something else? Here's the real talk. This day's showing me how much we've changed, and how much we haven't. That bike spill, the way he jumped to help, it's classic Dad. But that spark? That's new. Some might say I'm overthinking it, that it's just us being close after so long. Maybe, but I think it's more like we're seeing each other as people, not just father and daughter. It's not about crossing lines, it's about finding a new normal. And that storm? It's like nature's way of locking us in, forcing us to face it. We finish our tea and the rain's still hammering down. Guess we're stuck here, I say, grinning. Worst prison ever, he jokes, and we laugh again. But as I head to my room, I'm thinking, what's this feeling? It's not just the trip, it's him. Us. I flop onto the bed, the lantern flickering, and wonder where this is going. Day 3's throwing curveballs, and I'm hooked. Stick around. Things are getting wild. It's our last day at the sunny shore, and I'm already dreading the drive home. After that stormy night, things feel different. Closer, sharper, like me and Dad are on the same wavelength for the first time in forever. We head out to this little market near the pier, the kind with colorful tents and the smell of fried donuts in the air. I'm weaving through the stalls, eyeballing all the handmade stuff, when I spot this cool shell bracelet. Simple, but it's got this vibe. I slip it on and spin around to Dad. What do you think? I ask, holding out my wrist. He freezes, just staring at me, and his eyes go soft. Looks great, Em, he says, real quiet, like it's more than just the bracelet he's talking about. My cheeks heat up and I look away fast, pretending to check out a stack of postcards. Why is my heart racing over something so dumb? We wander around a bit more, grabbing some lemonade from a stand, and it's easy again, laughing, joking like we've hit our stride. But that moment with the bracelet sticks with me. Later, back at the motel, I'm packing my stuff when I spot a folded paper sticking out of Dad's bag. Curiosity gets me, and I pull it out. It's a note, his handwriting all messy but clear. Em, you're my rock. This week's been everything. Watching you shine, laughing like we used to. I'm so proud of who you're becoming. My throat tightens as I read it, and there's this line at the end. You mean more to me than I can say. I'm standing there, clutching it, when Dad walks in. He stops dead, face going pale. What'd you find? He asks, voice shaky. I hold up the note, my hands trembling a little. This. You wrote this, right? He nods, looking like a deer in headlights. Yeah, I didn't mean for you to see it yet. I take a breath, feeling the air get heavy. Dad, this trip. I feel it too. We're tighter than ever, aren't we? He steps closer, eyes searching mine. We are, kid. But it's big, you know. I don't want to mess this up. His voice cracks, and I get it. He's scared, same as me. Me neither, I say. But we can figure it out, right? Keep what's good? He smiles, small but real. Yeah, Em. We'll keep it good. We hug, quick and tight, and it's like sealing a deal. Whatever this is, we've got it. The drive home's quiet, just the hum of the truck and the radio on low. I'm staring out the window, replaying the week. Waves, bikes, that storm, the note. It's not just a trip anymore. It's us finding each other again. Some might say we're just clinging to the past, but I think it's more, we're building something new. Not weird, not wrong, just ours. I glance at Dad, his hands steady on the wheel, and I feel solid. You okay over there? He asks, catching my eye. Better than okay, I say, grinning. He nods and we roll on, the ocean fading behind us. Here's the real takeaway. This week taught me love's tricky. It shifts, grows, surprises you. Dad's not just my dad anymore. He's my partner in this crazy ride. We're not crossing lines. We're drawing new ones, figuring out what family means now. Back home, I'm unpacking and he's in the kitchen making coffee. Everything's normal, but it's not. There's this unspoken thing between us, warm and alive. I'm thinking, this is it, our reset, when my phone buzzes. It's a text from Dad, even though he's 10 feet away. Forgot to say, found this at the market. Attached is a pic of that shell bracelet, the one I tried on. He must have grabbed it when I wasn't looking. I laugh, loud enough that he pokes his head out. What's so funny? He asks, smirking. Nice move, old man, I say, waving my phone. He winks, and I'm about to text back when I hear the front door creak open. My heart stops. I didn't lock it. A figure steps in, shadowed against the afternoon light, and my stomach drops. It's Mom's old friend, Claire, holding a box of stuff from the house we cleared out last year. Jack? Emily? She calls, voice shaky. I found something you need to see. She pulls out a letter, yellowed and sealed with Mom's handwriting on it. It's addressed to both of you, dated the day before she got sick. My breath catches and Dad's face goes white. We lock eyes and I know, this isn't over. Whatever's in that letter, it's about to flip our world again. If you loved this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, drop a comment, and pass it along to your buddies. This is an artistic and fictional creation intended for both entertainment and educational purposes. Any resemblance to actual people or events is purely coincidental. Some scenes and dialogues in the video are part of a dramatized performance and incorporate elements of grotesque, satire, and exaggeration. The creator stands against discrimination, violence, and hatred. This channel fully complies with YouTube's policies and does not infringe upon copyright laws.